Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Fort Lauderdale United show. I'm one half of your co hosting duo, Brandon Griffin, and with me, as always, is Mike Longan. No nickname today.
I mean, Mike, did you like to see that first game, Longan? Mike,
Maybe.
what's going on in your life? No, just no nickname. No,
There's so
no.
much. There's so much to cover. I just didn't even know where to start with it, honestly.
I saw your tongue get tied, and I just didn't actually, know how you're gonna handle it. Sure,
Yeah.
as my camera's all off. I don't have my. No, that still doesn't look great, but we're gonna go with it. So, I'm excited. We didn't know how many episodes it would take to cover our first match. So the magic number was 6. I
Yeah.
don't know where the Vegas had us on the odds, or Hard Rock bets probably had us on the
Yeah.
odds.
Hard Rock.
Hard Rock bets, but we're 6 episodes in, and we're finally covering our first match. And going to cover the New Jersey reveal too.
Yeah. The
So
kit reveal.
you needed the kit before you could have the match. We got both those in the past few weeks, and I'm excited because we got to see our first match. I think the team looked good. I think we saw kind of that first game jitters, and we'll get into that a little bit. But I think when you look at what the ladies had to do, go on the hardest journey of the year, going to the farthest. That's the farthest road trip of anyone, right? Like us to Zephyrs and back. I'm thrilled with the result. I'm thrilled with where we're at, and not so thrilled about the jersey. But yeah, let's go into it. Let's talk this. Let's talk.
Ooh. Jeez, man. Way to go, all exciting, and then
Hey man, we've always said we're gonna be honest, we're gonna be transparent. Let's have the conversations.
No, we haven't, and that's a good segue. We'll jump right into it, and that's the kid reveal. The kits for home and away. Away on the left side of your screen, the white with the seafoam green shorts and socks, and then the home kits, the blue with the seafoam accents. Um, yeah, yeah, kind of like it kind of reminded me of the U.S. national team soccer kits, like with the collar and
Kind
stuff.
of,
Yeah.
kind of.
Well,
I think
it was it.
so. Let's start with a couple problems I have with this kit, because I'm not a fan, and I love kits. I am a kit
Yeah.
fanatic. I usually use a different phrase, but I'm not gonna use it. My first issue here is I'm red green colorblind. So are you. No, you're not.
No.
Producer Joe is.
How
Producer
dare
Joe is, and
you?
I keep on being told it's a seafoam green kit, and I'm absolutely convinced it's a white
No.
kit.
It is. It's a white kit with seafoam shorts and seafoam socks.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't see the
white kit.
difference. I just see a full-on white kit, a very plain, simple white kit, and I like
Yeah,
classic.
that's what I'm telling you. It's white. There's no
Even the
seafoam
shorts,
on it.
but the
The
shorts look
shorts are
white.
seafoam.
Yeah, but they look white to me too. The
Oh,
socks look all white. So I see is a top to bottom white kit.
so
Nothing
it's
standing
not
out.
colorblind friendly.
It's not.
Oh,
And then the blue kit is a ripoff of the US men's, US women's national team kit. Now here the problem is those are both made by Nike. Nike has Nike consistently kind of reuses kits. They're not known as the most innovative kit manufacturer. And what kills me is, we looked at Tampa Bay's kit a couple episodes ago, and we weren't fans of it, but there was detail to it.
yeah.
And I am a little disappointed that Nike couldn't have put a little more effort into this, because I'm going to go on a limb and say this wasn't our club's decision. I think this was, we're a brand new club. There's only so long to start. Nike's got to bring us something together to make this happen. You couldn't put a little detail in it, a little more effort.
Well,
And I'm saying this knowing I'm going to buy at least three of these total, one of one color and two of the other. So I'm going to spend money on this kit. So call me a hypocrite all you want, but I'm just not a fan. I just wanted more.
I think I think with what we saw with the other kits, yeah, I kind of expected more as well. But we are I think I don't know, we might be the only Nike team in the league.
I
I
don't
did
know a
not
lot.
look at the other ones. I know like Tampa is not Nike. Carolina, I don't think is. Lexington, I don't think is, and I didn't pay attention with Spokane.
Spokane, I've got the Spokane kit up in front of me. It's got a lot of pattern to it, a lot of cool
Yeah,
details. Like that's a cool kit, and I get it. It's a Capelli kit, not a Nike kit. I
right.
know Tampa went with a manufacturer. I can't remember who the manufacturer was, but it was not kind of a classic manufacturer. It's a balance, right? Bringing in
Yeah,
Nike, bringing in a big name is a cool. It's a big thing to get that as your kit sponsor.
yeah,
I If the trade-off was we don't get very cool kits, I mean, I'm rocking an olive with New York right now. You know, you're a huge fan
yeah,
also of O&Y. Like, I kind of wish we went with a smaller kit manufacturer just to do something cool. I don't. I know I'm beating up on this a little bit, but I just, as someone who loves kits and loves the details and the little things you can do with one,
yeah.
underwhelmed. Underwhelmed.
I, and I can see that for sure. I think the away kit honestly is my favorite. I like the white kit and I like the seafoam accents with the shorts and the socks. Um I'm going to have to find seafoam green shorts because I think that's really makes the makes the completes the look. I know you can't see it, but if you could, I think you would like it all together.
See, but okay, so again, I like a classy look. One of my favorite kits in MLC this year is the Cincinnati kit. It's a plain white kit with a little touch of color on certain spots. And like what I would have liked to have seen on the away kit is yes, teal. Well, first off, white, fine. Put some teal on there, maybe a touch of blue, something to make it just not look like you pulled a Nike jersey off the rack, printed our logo on it, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like I said, I'm not arguing that. You know, but I you know me, I like to try and find the positives in things and
I do, and I'm happy to have a kit.
and I
And
yeah,
we've been harassing the club. Literally, I think yesterday you and I were texting like, "Hey, when can we buy kits? We want the kits."
soon.
I'm gonna buy
We were
it.
told soon.
We're told soon. We're told very soon. I think right now they're just trying to get kits for the club, which isn't abnormal. Anytime
Oh
a
yeah.
team brings out a kit, it's always tough to get. I know you see it in MLS, you see it in Europe that the first couple of jerseys all go to the team, and then they eventually produce
Mhm.
enough for everybody. This one doubly is hard because anytime you do a female kit first, you probably even have less. Then you got to make special ones for the men. It becomes a whole thing. Uh,
Well, that and as a new league, new team, like you really
yep.
don't know what the demand is going to be like. Kind of like you, I fully anticipate on having both home and away, at least one of each, and then one for signatures, and get that up behind me. But then I also like Shivani's all in. My wife, she's already like, I'm getting kids, right? And I'm like, yeah, as soon as they're available, we'll get them.
We're all waiting. We're all waiting. We all want the kits, and I am
Yeah,
fingers crossed we have kits to buy before September 6th because
I got the feeling we will.
I do not want to go to a summer game in a cotton t-shirt. I'll do it. I'll do it for the club. They say you're
Based
not
off of our,
they say you're not a fan if you don't go to the matches, so I will be there in cotton if need be.
they don't say that. One idiot does.
I'm just so, it's been said. It's been said recently, and I wanted to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Joe's comment. We'll get you a nice moisture wicking NRR shirt.
Yeah, we're still working on that. I was working on that in fact just before we jumped on today. So
Oh,
now let's talk the most exciting thing about the New Jersey though. We played a match in them,
we did.
and it was so good. First off, I'm gonna go just on a weird thing. I love the fact that here's our first match with a brand new league, and all I had to do was boot up Peacock. The match is sitting right there, easy to jump on. And
Yeah.
then a day later, because I unfortunately was a little bit distracted when the match was playing, I go back to Peacock and I watched the full replay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's awesome. So huge shout out to Peacock and to USL for putting this together that fans can watch these games so easily.
Yeah. I loved it. It was a great experience. I enjoyed the broadcasting partners. I thought the play by play and the color was
Yeah.
fantastic. Um, and I thought they educated a lot, like because I'm sure there were people that were just like, "Oh, soccer's on, like let me turn this on," and I'm sure they educated people. I learned a lot of stuff. Just listening to what they were saying, and they seemed to really do their research on the players, and they knew a lot about everybody that was on the field on both sides. Were able to like you know clearly describe like the players' backgrounds, like what makes each one of them special on both sides of the ball, which I thought was great because you don't get that with like a new league. Like you wouldn't think you would, at least. Like you
No,
would
no, I
think that it
agree.
would be like a choppy broadcast, like on some streaming service you never heard of, but it was very professional. It was great. I liked
And
it.
so funny hit and miss on the camera work. There was multi cameras, right? Like there was a guy
Yeah,
ground level, there was up top. The up top reminded me a little too much of US Men at Arrowhead when it was like we were
yeah.
in outer space looking down. But like that was the one criticism. Well, that and the sound was a little bit, but man, I'm all critiquey today. But like this is really small versus I remember when a certain team joined MLS and I didn't know every time there was a game, we couldn't figure out what
Oh
channel it was
God,
on.
that
We were
was the
lucky to have
worst.
it. You didn't know what you were going to expect. You didn't know you were going to get. So huge win for the league. I think when this league soars as it's primed to do, this deal with Peacock will be a big piece of it because I know people
Hmm.
say, yeah, I know there's a paywall. On this. Listen, if it wasn't paywalled, if they didn't have this, we wouldn't have the level of coverage we're getting now, which is just
Yeah,
fantastic.
but the thing is it's behind a paywall, yeah, but it's behind a paywall that offers more than just this content.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, and I'll throw it out there, MLS season pass, where when you pay for it, you just get MLS season pass. You don't get access to Apple. With Peacock, at least you get access to not only all the other sports that they offer, like EPL and stuff like that, but you also get like TV shows. I can watch Parks and Rec, and that's
And
why I had it already.
remember, a lot of people got Peacock recently for the Olympics.
Yeah,
And you paid your $6 or $8 a month for Olympics. If you had it, you've got the first weekend of USL. Now keep it for one more weekend, and you're gonna one more month, and you'll get the next couple games of it. And if you like it,
yeah.
stay. Obviously, Peacock has a lot of other great shows. Uh, I've not gotten into the Twisted Metal show, but I always want to. My problem is I typically watch that kind of stuff on
Mm,
planes, and Twisted Metal did not seem airplane
no,
friendly,
no, it doesn't.
but it looks enjoyable.
Yeah, no, yeah, but I think that partnership can only help grow the league, and can only help promote it. And I loved every second of it. I really did.
And
But
now let's
yeah,
talk about the game. Sorry, I just keep on
yeah,
taking us all new places.
you do. Joe's asking, producer Joe's asking, is Peacock paying us?
Peacock paid us with quality footage of our first match, and so I'm just
Yeah,
trying to repay them back.
yeah. So getting into it a little bit, we came out in 4-3-3, which anybody who knows Mike and I know we were very well, at least me for sure was a very big fan. Mike likes a good 4-3-3, I think too. But
I,
we
I, I do love I do love great wingback play though, so I can get behind a
yeah.
3-5-2 any day of the week. But I am a fan of
Yeah.
4-3-3. It's a nice, stable, consistent. And I think for the first game of a season, first game of a team, 4-3-3 is where you
Yeah.
go to kind of figure out where you got.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, in the first lineup, we had Gordon, Gorley, and Hamid up top, with Knox, McCain, Raji in midfield, Allen, Vaca, Gaynor, and Jordan anchoring down the back, and then Morchi in between the goals, in between the posts. And we can, yeah, I mean, I, we can get into it. First half, I think both teams, we saw it. were slow. They
A lot of
were
nerves.
getting to know each other. Like, this is the
Yeah.
first competitive match in the league. It's
For
not
some
like
of
you
these
had
people, it
like,
was hold on, for some of these people, it was their first professional match ever.
oh
On bo
yeah,
I know on our side of the pitch,
absolutely.
and I'm sure on the other side. So you have first professional match jitters, first game the season jitters, first you're wearing the weight of this jersey on you that's never been worn
Hmm.
before. And I think you saw that. I think throughout the
Yeah.
whole game you saw that, but definitely the first 15, 20 minutes, I definitely it was there was a lot of filling each other out. You could see balls going to areas where you thought someone would be, but they weren't quite on the same page. Now,
Yeah.
don't forget also our team only started practicing here 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
preseason, yeah, was started for
It's kind of right when
maybe
your
5.
little one was. How old's your little? Your is Luke now?
Luke's a month and almost 2 months, month and a half.
I think that's about. Because I remember you couldn't attend some stuff we went to when the
Well, I
players were
couldn't
coming
do
in.
the
Because
pub, yeah, the pub thing.
yeah, and that was
I
right around
didn't go
Luke's time.
to, but then yeah, I made it to the first open practice though.
Yeah, but around that pub thing's right when the first practice was. So it was right around Luke.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, they're still getting to know each other, and I think we saw a lot of promise. My takeaway from the game, and I think I we mentioned it in our group chat, was I thought the midfield looked pretty good for most of the game, and my thoughts were they just needed to build that familiarity with the wings and the forward in order to kind of like just put it all together because there was
No,
like,
I
yeah.
no, I completely agree. I think, and the stats prove it a little bit too. I felt watching this game, and it's tough to feel like this when you're it's a for anything, but I never felt we weren't in control of the game. I
Right.
felt that our chances were scripted. Like we were playing well ball. When Zephyrs got a chance, it seemed more like taking advantage of silly mistakes and things of that
Mhm.
nature, including the goalie scores. I mean, I'm going to start with I haven't learned all of our team members' names yet, so excuse me, but I know the center back gets beat, and you and I talked about this when we watched the open practice that she looks susceptible to getting beat a little bit. She gets
It
beat,
wasn't
makes
a center
us
back, it was the left back.
left back
Yeah.
gets beat. Yeah, she was. Yeah. Because I was
Shan
watching her go
Allen.
back down sound. Gets beat, makes I think a silly foul. It wasn't required. It's you've got the center back was near enough to kind of put some pressure on the ball. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna go with I'm not gonna be too upset about that because
No.
opening jitters, opening team, you'll learn from that mistake. But that was one of the few times I felt really nervous. And then what happened as soon as they scored on us, we just take the kickoff and put a shot on goal within like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, that was kind of my one thing with this match. I just had the stats up a second ago. How many goals? We had uh 11 shots to their 6, uh,
Mhm.
3 on target to their 1. And can I switch that to just see the first half? Will that change? No, I won't change it. But we were much more taking the shots. We were much more setting up plays, and we just couldn't find the back of the net. And we were
Yeah.
really struggling, I felt, to find the back of the net. And I felt there was almost a little bit of a pressure release when we finally did. Like the team clearly wanted that goal. You don't want to lose. You don't want to be remembered as the team that lost your season opener. Your again, how would you call it? Game club opener?
Inaugural match.
Inaugural. That's too many words. You don't want to be the team remembered for losing your inaugural match. And I think getting that goal took the pressure off. Uh, and it kept on like rolling. I thought there was a second goal in us, and we just couldn't find the back of the net in the end.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and that one, Allen made that one play, took her down in the box, and yeah, it was a penalty. I didn't think it was that hard of a penalty, but it was a penalty. And I will
I
say
mean,
this,
that's
she
that's the
recovered
problem. The
well.
problem in a box is a penalty is a penalty is a penalty.
Yeah.
If whether it's a ticky tack or like a beheading, the the outcome is going to
Yeah.
be the same.
No, I know. And I just wanted, Allen recovered from that, and she played a fine rest of the game. We didn't see her getting beat too often on the left side. And but yeah, I think what really shone, and it surprised me because Gorley up top is like somebody who in the beginning of the season, the preseason, out of Grand Canyon University. Like, she's a goal scorer. I thought for sure I would have put money on it that she was going to score our first goal. Based off of her college record and just kind of seeing how she was in the open practice. She was pretty active. But I think the midfield really stole the show, and I think that goes, our first ever goal scored by Addie McCain, assisted by Felicia Knox, who was our first signing out of Alabama. I think that to me summed up the game because I really felt like our three players in the midfield just kind of bossed
Yeah.
everything. And I think as soon as they develop that chemistry with the front line, I think we're gonna be really dangerous. Because there were a couple of runs that the front line was making that were just like the ball was just a
Yeah,
hair off.
whoever was playing like the left wing was making runs, and she just could not. They could not connect with her.
Yeah.
Uh, but what's interesting about Addie McCain, who scored that goal, she played professional ball in an NWSL for a
Oh
short
yeah.
period of time. She's had goals there,
Hmm.
and we talked. Go back to that first episode or second episode where I'm like, hey, where are the professional players? Give me some people that have done this before, now
Yeah.
straight out of college. And I think you saw that at that moment, the people who knew how to have been here before stepped up, and that kept us in it. And again, great job by the ladies.
Yeah. Well, Felicia Knox, this was her first professional game, I'm pretty sure, because she's drafted by who was Angel City
I
in
was I,
NWSL.
I was yeah. Well, I was going to say
Yeah.
Orlando Pride, but it might be Angel City.
No. Yeah, it was Angel City. And then she ended up signing with us as our first announced signing, and you know, she played really well, and she was marketed to us like in her bio and everything as somebody who was like going to be the anchor of the midfield, and I think we really saw that.
I mean, she
And
had the assist on the goal, right? Like she set it up.
yeah. Oh yeah, Joe, we do have to mention that. Thank you, producer Joe. Joe saying he loves Coach Mears' passion. A yellow card in game one. I'm all for it. I am too. I love a coach that gets fired up and is invested emotionally in the game. I love it.
But going
I
back
don't want to
to
see it every game, but
the Peacock thing, like they were giving a whole bio on Mears while I was there, and
yeah,
I was really enjoying that.
yeah.
Like, not that we haven't done the research, but them talking through it, man. But yeah, awesome passion. You saw how he cared. I perception's hard of like the manager from TV angles, but
Mhm.
I felt he was more into the match than his opposing manager. Like he just felt more driven to get that win, a
Yeah,
little
he
more
might be a
engaged
little
with his
more.
team.
Well, and I think it kind of speaks to something that you already mentioned is like we were always kind of like in control. I
Yeah.
feel like the game kind of went according to our game plan. And when that's happening, it's real easy to be fired up and like be all in on the team. And when things maybe aren't going your way, it's kind of easy to not be like that. But then it's also different personalities. We don't know these other coaches. We don't know the other players. Like I didn't know any of the players on Spokane's team, but that goes back to Peacock. I enjoyed learning about them and I enjoyed hearing about their backgrounds. Like I didn't know they had just signed a player who won the Scottish Premier League with Celtic.
That
Like
was
that was so
first, and
cool.
then my for next thought was, I didn't know Celtic had a women's team.
Yeah. I I thought, I really enjoyed how prepared everybody was for it
Yeah.
because you learned a lot about like the league and you learned that the talent that the league is attracting because it's offering more American born players who had to go abroad an opportunity to come home and play. And it's also giving opportunities for women of other nationalities to come to the US and play on a schedule that matches the European schedule or the international
Yes.
schedule, which is key, which is like they kept talking about it. And the more they did, the more I was thinking about like, hey, MLS or NWSL are playing like similar seasons. And I was like, you know what? It makes so much sense to try and do it that way. and try and play and mirror the international window. And yeah, right now USL Super League does not have as many games as like a European team, so they can take a break in the colder months. They can do what they're gonna do. But the justification for that and the reasoning behind it was just is fantastic. Like just to give more American players an opportunity to come home and play. And I think that'll be a big attractor in the months to come and years to come
Yeah,
as
and
other
this
people are
league is
looking at options.
the league is definitely setting themselves up, and it's interesting because NWSL did their new collective bargaining agreement. I know that was being driven a little
Mhm.
bit by the TV deal, reading through it, but one of the things is they got rid of the draft, and I feel like getting rid of the draft's also part of like, and they getting rid of draft and better free agency. And I see that as being more making themselves more competitive with the new upstart coming up behind them. Whereas
Yeah.
when they were all by themselves, and you see this in the men's side and the American men's side, is when you're in complete control, you can do whatever you want to benefit the league more than the teams. I think you saw
Mhm.
NWSL kind of go back, hey, they're not the where we are now, but we also need
Yeah.
to like watch over ourselves.
Well, what's interesting to me, what was interesting about that move is, unlike MLS, NWSL gets a lot of quality players
Yep.
from the draft. And so getting rid of that I thought was an interesting move, but I also think, to your point, it's more of a way of saying like, hey, we're going to sign this player before they go into college or while they're in college and get them to leave college and come and play for us, as opposed to letting them stick around there and kind of develop while USL comes in and poaches the player.
Well, you also have the we're not going to lock you in. We're going to give you freedom of choice, and then you're going to want to play with us versus feeling forced to play
Yeah.
for us, which I think is the draft piece.
Yeah.
I,
And the
I did
thing,
want. Oh
oh,
no,
well,
finish the thought.
the last thing I wanted to say about the draft and the schedule and stuff, I really do feel like the mirroring of the schedule, like the international schedule and the lack of draft by USL is because they want to be the talent springboard to Europe.
Yeah,
And I think right now we saw a lot of European players coming back to the league, but I think what we'll start seeing is the reverse happen. And if that starts happening, because NWSL does not rarely sells players abroad. When they do, it's because it's world class player going to a world class team. But if we start seeing USL Super League start selling players abroad, that generates massive income, and we
yep.
could start seeing some pretty interesting things happening because we've seen it with our own team and we'll get into it later. But we have some very talented young women on our team and in our academy rosters already. And if we keep going that route, this is going to be a very
I
dangerous
mean,
league for.
women's football's home is America. And that's
Yeah,
where so I know the rest of the world is catching up and catching up very quickly. Finally, I guess now they're catching up quickly versus the past they weren't. But still the root of women's football is America. Get into Title IX, but essentially because of Title IX. And
yeah.
that the European money and spigots are now open, it is a financially sound concept in America now to start selling players here. And I think you'll continue to see more of that. And when you look at like I think what reigning women's player of the year is James. I can't think of her name, first name, Reese James' sister. Isn't she,
Oh, oh
wasn't she?
yeah.
I think she's reigning. So you're seeing European Sam Kerr, Australian, more and more of that happening. That's going to continue to happen, but they're all going to Europe to play.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of funny how it's mirroring like the men's game is like, okay, we go from the US to Europe now and how that might
Lauren, by
happen.
the way, was her name. I think
Lauren
her name.
Reed Lauren
Yeah,
James, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but hmm, I don't know. It's great. I keep finding reasons to like the team and the league and everything like that. It's really really well done and very professional and I don't know. I didn't think it was gonna be like this, but I did expect it to be like a shit show
No,
because
hundred
I'm
percent. I
like,
expected it to be a
there's
shit show.
so many moving pieces. Like I was
Oh
like, you got to give them 2 years before they get like broadcasting
no,
right and things like that. And I was like, holy shit.
I was expecting single camera, maybe one guy commentating, one person commentating.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like the TU. What was the local channel that was covering Inter Miami for a while? I know that they had some
Oh,
broadcast.
the
TUDN maybe was the channel name.
yeah.
Like that's the coverage. Worse than that coverage. You know what I was expecting? I'm going to hurt you when I say this. I was expecting U.S. Open Cup coverage, where you just never know what you're going to get on any of those
That
matches.
See, that doesn't hurt me because most of those teams are USL teams. So you kind of would expect it to be like same level or similar level.
I was
But
expecting, yeah,
yeah,
this was better
like
than that.
this is better than that, and it
Yeah,
kind of makes like I don't know. I'm not in USL. I don't know, but it feels like USL is like this is this is what we want to be our Premier
yeah,
League. Like this is where we're putting our effort in. And they're doing a lot of exciting things on the men's side too, like trying to do pro rel and things like that. But it just felt like a concerted effort to make sure that this was ready for market before it went out to us. And I feel like
yeah,
that's happening.
yeah. It's amazing. So I'm gonna go back to the game a little bit.
Yeah.
You know me. The easiest way to make me hate a manager is the inability to make decent subs. Like we talk a lot of football across
Yeah,
multiple leagues,
we do.
and the thing that pisses me off most is when a manager couldn't make subs.
Or when
I
he makes the subs too late.
make subs. Well, yes,
Yeah.
I think we were in control of this game. It was just about finding the net. That calls for restraint in substitutions. I think we saw that.
Hmm. Yeah.
We made our first sub in 62. We then don't make our next sub until 75 after the first goal. I think that was demonstrated by where we are in the game. I thought in my opinion, bringing Henderson on in the 82nd, that felt more like I want to see Henderson on the pitch than
Yeah.
necessarily we need to make this sub. I didn't think, and I think it's a factor of weather. I think our team looked um, uh,
Bitter.
more in shape,
Hmm.
like more in form. I think when you're training in South Florida Heat and you get to go play in Washington State, it's a
Yeah.
little easier
Yeah.
versus when the Zephyrs have to start making their road trip, which it's going to suck for them. I mean, there's no other way to say it. And I don't
Yeah.
know the rules, the travel rules for this league. I hope they're better than the original WNBA travel rules, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
But yeah.
I was happy. I was happy on the subbing. I think he made smart substitutions. It's only game one, so I'm not going to say that's my final critique on his substitution patterns. But I thought this one was smart subbing. Clearly, watching the game, saw a game unfolding how probably he wanted it to unfold to some level. Remember, goals win 3 points at home, 1 point on the road, and
Yeah.
it worked.
Well, what I took away from his subs, and they said it on the broadcast because Coach Mears was said so in like an interview where he truly feels like he has like six attackers that he can put on the field at any point and they can be starters. And his subs kind of showed that because then he's like, okay, Hamid isn't really working in this situation right now, so let me bring on Christopher. And then it was like, okay, let me bring on Fung and let me bring on Henderson. And like, it felt like to me, he was like, okay, let me bring these extra, like, let me bring like extra guns to more offense to the team. And like, let's see if somebody can take advantage and get that winning goal. And unfortunately, it didn't happen, but it felt like it was coming.
And so I just threw up on the screen the USL Super League page, which, by the way, we are discussing this ahead of time. This
Fantastic.
page is fantastic. Like, this is not FootMob. It's not another site. This is USL Super League's actual page. And what I'm pulling up here is I also think Mears was clearly making changes because
Hmm.
this is let me close this up again. I'm still kind of figuring out how
Yeah,
to do it. So
because we were
this
talking
is
about Knox's heat map
yeah,
before.
this is Knox's heat map first half. Here's its second half. Clearly changed what she was doing, changed the matchup. These are big tactical adjustments to have a player go from basically playing the left side to completely moving to the right side and kind of left farther back to
Yeah.
right, farther forward. And so this is what we want to see in a manager. We want to see him coaching up the team and making changes. And then I'm just gonna throw this out there because this is such a cool site. So here's her touch map,
Yeah.
first half versus second. You can do this for any single player on both teams. Just a really cool site. There's the match. What's chalkboard? I don't even know what some of this stuff does. Okay,
The chalkboard I haven't played with yet. I think
I'm not gonna. I probably shouldn't do it
yeah.
live.
But the cool thing with the heat map too that I was doing is I was kind of doing matchups. Like I was putting in the Spokane right winger against our left back and kind of seeing how they mirrored each other, and it was kind of cool. It's hard to tell which is which team without just kind of switching the overlays,
Yeah.
but I'm impressed with that site for sure.
Yeah, it's a super nice site. This is where as we're talking about
Yeah.
shots and on goal and things of that nature, defensive. And by the way, kind of going through, let's go through a little bit of the basic stats. So bring up the attack. So we had 11 goals to their 6, 3 shots on targets to their 1. In general, our possession was 54-45. What was another offsides 3-0, which actually I always think offsides are typically a positive that you're making inactive plays.
Yeah, they can
especially
be.
Especially in a first game where you're still
Mhm.
figuring each other out. I'm okay with a couple good offsides. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, what was
Distribution by way,
interesting to me
way more passes.
is we didn't get I thought in the open practice that we were both at, I thought we looked really good on set pieces. And I think we even saw 1 or 2 goals scored on set pieces, particularly corner kicks. And I'm just kind of hoping we get some more corner opportunities in the future.
Yeah,
to
the
see
balls
that.
weren't dropping real well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Pitch conditions can make effect.
Well,
I don't.
it's the first game.
First game pitch conditions. Speaking of pitch, by the way, this flag being crooked behind me is killing me. But speaking about the pitch, shout out to the Zephyrs. That was a great filled stadium.
Yeah.
I think they set a standard. I think 3 of the games were sellouts. Is what I think you shared that statistic with me. Or maybe I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, I think every game, because there were only 3. No,
I thought there was 4.
I don't think every team played. I could be wrong. Let me double check.
You're right. You're right. Brooklyn. So there was only 3 matches, and all 3 were sellouts.
Yeah.
So I think that was awesome. And again, just shout out to the Zephyrs. I thought that was a great feel. Their drum line, their supporters group's drums were going the majority of the match.
I have to
you don't
say
like the
too.
drums? You don't like the
No,
drums?
no, I did. But and this is I know they're going to be our rival Tampa, but I'm really looking forward to going to that Riverfront Stadium for an away day. It looks really cool. I don't know. I watched that game and I saw the stadium and I was like,
I didn't get to see the Tampa game. It was good. How was the game?
They arrived by water taxi.
They arrived by water taxi?
Yeah.
That's
it was
awesome.
Cool. It was pretty cool. And I'm a sucker for things like that. Carolina is going to be a cool away game too. I don't know if I'll make it this year, but I that's coming. I'll do that trip easy.
But yeah, no, I think as season starters, inaugural games, I don't think we could have asked for much more. We got the goal. We got the point. We got some experience as a team on the road. And honestly, we made the worst road trip of the year.
Yeah.
So I think that's just wins all around.
I do too. I don't have anything negative to say about the first game because there's just so much that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
I do think that we have the makings and the early look of a team that can do some damage in this league. I think because we very easily could have put 3 or 4 goals in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is we don't know. My son last year, my son's first match, he was playing middle school ball. He was 5th grade. He was playing middle school ball. They won 6-0. I'm like, man, this middle school team was great. They lost every other match they played.
Yeah.
He just got their butts whooped. And there was a lot of factors into that, but sometimes the first match can be very deceiving. So I don't want to jinx
Yeah.
it beyond saying we looked good. I think we looked competitive, looked like a team.
A
I'm
lot of
excited to see us.
promise. A
Yeah.
lot of promise.
And what's really interesting, and at one of the happy hours the team hosted for fans, I was talking to the coaches and stuff, and they were saying every team treated roster building differently. Every
Mhm.
team, some went with more experienced players, some went with younger. We're very proud of the fact that we're very young.
Yeah.
And I think as we get through the season, we're going to start seeing which concepts bore more fruit.
Mhm.
And I don't know what it is. I think I'd like to think I think we could. I know we preach how young we are, but the fact that we have some more senior players, we have younger. I think a balance is good. It makes us. It's kind of like what a team will long term look like. I feel like this is probably the right way, but I'm curious to see. I don't remember what the team was, but I heard one team went out and bought a bunch of older but experienced
Um,
players,
I
and
think
I can't remember what team
that
that was.
was. Mm, I want to say I don't know. I feel like I know, but I don't want to throw shade at another team
Yeah, I don't
without
want to throw
like
don't
being
throw any
sure.
names out there.
No, but like I don't know. I think having watched all the games from the weekend, I think Carolina's going to be one to keep an eye on. I was impressed by their not just their atmosphere, but the team too. But I think a lot of promise on our side, and hopefully that youth holds up well over the season, and maybe we outlast some people.
Yeah,
Because we definitely, like to your point, we definitely looked like the better conditioned team out there. They did not. I don't think our subs were made because we were tired. I think the subs were made because we made some tactical changes. Because
yeah.
by the end of the game, we were not playing a 4-3-3. I think
Wow.
it was more like a 4-2-5 or you know, oh, you've discovered something.
Do you know what Dallas's home stadium is?
No.
It's the Cotton Ball Bowl.
Oh, well, then it was only two sellouts. They definitely didn't sell out the Cotton Bowl.
No, I'm just looking through.
Huh. I
Dallas
wonder
played
if
away.
that's.
No, Dallas played
Oh.
away. So that's why that
Oh,
worked out.
okay.
Um, I didn't realize that. I was looking at December games because kind of thinking about like cold games versus warm games, and the Cotton Bowl, which I have never been to. What
Yeah,
are they
I've
playing
never
there?
been there either. So I don't know. We'll have to. I might do the Spokane trip next time.
That's a long trip.
Well, it'll give me an excuse to go to Washington State. So I've been looking for an excuse.
Man, when is this match? Now I'm totally distracted because I'm trying to figure out when we're
He
going
is.
to Dallas.
So if you couldn't tell already, it was a 1-1
Saturday,
draw.
November 2nd. Oh, I'm going to be in Disney World that weekend, so I'm not going to go to the Cotton Bowl this year.
Oh,
Well, at least in
well,
the first half of the year.
maybe in the second half.
Maybe
But
second half.
yeah, it was a 1-1 draw. Ladies played well. I think everybody's happy with the result.
But wait, hold
We
on,
did
hold on, hold
lose.
on, hold on. We didn't call it our keeper. I think she had one save. Sorry, she had two saves. I think she played a good, strong game.
Yeah,
And I felt if I had to say what was the weakest part, I thought our back line was the weakest, but I thought she was doing a strong job of trying to hold it together, trying to give direction. And there's, you and I talk also about a lot of trust, keeper having to have trust in the back line.
yeah,
I saw the trust forming. I
yeah.
saw the conversations happening. Plus side of a small team is you can hear the yelling, you can hear the screaming, and I saw that, and I have a lot of hope for that, and I had a lot of faith in the
And
goalkeeping I saw because the
and
only
the
goal she gave
yelling
up
that
was
we
the
heard.
PK, which
Yeah,
was
and the
crap
yelling
sheet.
that we heard wasn't necessarily like, "Oh, you're terrible." It was
No,
more
no, I
like
wasn't implying that at
direction.
all.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's yelling either way.
yeah.
But it was more like, "Hey, like positioning and stuff like that," and like it's a big pet peeve of mine when a goalkeeper is quiet and doesn't talk to the defense. And like I like a vocal keeper, so that's a great shout out. Like she did play an excellent game. She's another one who brings a lot of international experience because she played at Montpellier for I think 2 or 3 seasons. she'd been around France and played in Ligue 1, so really, really, I was pumped when she signed with us, and I thought she played fantastic.
Yeah.
And as long as that trust keeps forming in that defense, I think only good things can happen from there. Um, and it was nice to see like the whole team just kind of gelled, right? Like I didn't
No, they
see anybody who like, you know, sometimes you see like problems on the field,
no, I didn't
and I
see
didn't
any
see that.
animosity,
No,
arguments. I mean,
and
there's a
it's game
lot.
one.
Yeah, there's a lot that has to happen.
Yeah,
Uh, let's keep on hoping it goes that way. But I felt
yeah,
good.
yeah. So did I. And what else feels good is looking at the standings. I had to our friends at Everglades County Collective were posting on Twitter. They're like, "Is it too early to look at standings?" I was like, "Nope, it's not." So we're tied for second place with half the league,
You know what? I gotta
but at least we're not DC.
I, I gotta wonder what the tiebreaker to figure out 2, 3, and 4 were, because weren't they all 1-1
It's
games?
they explain it. Let me go to the standings because they explain the tiebreakers. Number one is head-to-head points earned in regulars. Oh, this is more like
Yeah,
maybe.
okay,
Oh
but
no, this goes
Tampa
into it. Goal differential in regular season, goals
but
scored in regular season, number of
what's
disciplinary points, and then lottery conducted by the league determines
okay, because
positioning.
all the matches were 1-1. So
I think it probably
yeah,
has something to do with discipline. I think that
yeah, I'm gonna
probably
guess it
went
was I'm
into
gonna guess it was discipline too, because
yeah.
that's the only difference.
Or it was just a lottery by the league. I don't know. But yeah.
No yellow
Uh,
cards is disciplined. No, so
let's
so Tampa only had 1 yellow card, and I think we had 1 yellow card. There must have been a lottery at this point, because how many yellow I thought we had more yellow cards. We're still learning. Like, this is the fun
whatever.
part of this, is we are learning
Yeah.
as we go along.
Yeah. There were no red cards this weekend. That was good, right?
It's always good.
Yeah. I I don't know. I enjoy that aspect of women's soccer. You don't have any flopping.
No, both
I
teams have 1 yellow card. Oh, okay, hold on. They had 11 fouls and we had 10. Is that the
Ooh,
tiebreaker?
that's the tiebreaker. No, I don't know because Spokane had 10 too, so you would think they would be higher up. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, okay, wait. I figured out one thing. Tampa Bay and Fort Lauderdale both were away.
Oh,
Dallas
so
and
that
Spokane
probably
were
counts.
something that affects it somehow too.
Yeah. So maybe it's like away goals and then like discipline.
This is fun. We're making this up as we go along.
Yeah. Sign us up for
Actually,
commission.
not we're not making we're
Commission.
learning as we go along. We're the league's getting better. We're gonna get better. I'm gonna
Just
never
wait
have this
for
crack in my window
people
again.
for people who aren't familiar with us. Mike is just itching to break out a spreadsheet. He is and
I do
figure
love a
this
good
out.
spreadsheet. No,
He's
I'm
gonna
not. I'm
tally
not. I'm
everything
not
up.
itching, because typically I'm pulling the spreadsheet out to prove a point in a negative manner
I,
about a
I
team.
would think you would like to pull out a spreadsheet for a positive thing.
I think no
You can use
spreadsheets are
math
negative.
for both good and bad. No, your spreadsheet about no, your spreadsheet about parking was negative.
Yes, my spreadsheet about barking was
Yeah.
very negative. I'm very
Hopefully you don't have
concerned.
to pull that out again.
I'm not
But
worried about parking here. Though I am worried
I'm
about
not
tailgating,
either.
because we're gonna have to carry all of our stuff. Though I have a nice one of those
Yeah, I have one
collapsible
of those
carts
cards
for
too.
super awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to we should probably start planning that. Opening day
I-
tailgate.
I'm gonna give it one more week.
One more week. All right. Get some details first. But anyway,
When's the home opener? I said September 6th, but it's not September 6th. It's
no, September
September
6th is the
29th.
next game. September
Yeah,
29th is the home opener.
September 29th. I
Yeah.
was thinking about going
Because
and visiting the
every week.
mouse on September 6th.
Well, you good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watch a game on Peacock in line.
I have watched many a game sitting in Disney World on my phone.
You and me both. You and me both. But before we wrap up, one of the things we like to do, like when games are active and stuff, we just like to do shout outs or cool things that we saw around the league. And this game, because it was our inaugural match, it's going to be all Fort Lauderdale United focused. In the future, we will probably bring in cool things that other teams around the league are doing, just to kind of bring in like some fun things, some awareness of what other teams are doing around the league, and just kind of, you know, open our perspective instead of just always looking at what we're doing.
Yeah, and we're gonna cover the league itself as we're figuring it out and seeing
Yeah,
what happens. And
right
I have
now,
no doubt we're gonna find some positives and negatives about the league, but
yeah,
I this was fun. Like, it's fun. We're finally gonna see a match. We're finally gonna talk about it, and hopefully we're gonna keep on talking about wins because it's a lot more fun. I don't know. Sometimes it's more fun to talk about losses, but I want to talk about wins
more people watch when we talk about losses.
because that's when we start ranting.
Oh yeah. Get ready for one of those people. But yeah, before we wrap up, just wanted to pop out USL Super League put this out as well as the team. Levin Vaca, who is our center back, her family was able to come out and watch her play in this game, and there they are with the jerseys hanging out after the game, and I thought that was a really cool moment.
Can we ask how they got jerseys? I mean, great. We're fans. They're fans. Just because they're
I
family
don't
members, they shouldn't get jerseys.
Well, you take that up with them. You take that up with them. Uh, and then we had to shout out one of the young ladies that we were just talking about, like the talent that's in our academy. Reese Klein got called up as a an alternate for the U20 Women's World Cup in Colombia for this season. So that is super exciting news to see, like the caliber of players that we're attracting in our academy. And when we covered her in depth when she signed, she's already played with the U20 team. I think she played with the U. She's been with she's been with US Soccer for a while. So really excited to see her get that call up, and I can't wait. Hopefully, we get to see her on the pitch in the World Cup. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think we will. I think this seems like a club that's really going to help grow, our ladies and give them experience. I think if one thing, Mears came from Inter Miami, which has a real history of. He went through a lot of stops. One of his stops in Inter Miami has a real history of taking those under 20 players and getting them pitch time as fast as possible and growing them. And I expect to see something very similar here.
Yeah, no, I agree, and you know, just exciting and cool stuff to see, and maybe for our next episode, I'll find that water taxi video of them
That's
arriving,
awesome.
so
Yeah, no.
we can see
We
it.
can remember if you're listening to us, thank you. Make sure you like and
Yeah,
subscribe. Make sure you're following us on both Twitter and Instagram
yep,
because we will post some of these stuffs from here up there when we find them and do our things to keep in touch.
yeah, absolutely, and we're gonna try and be very consistent with our scheduling. I think Thursday nights at 9 is gonna be when we go live for the most part. If a game happens at that time, obviously we'll change it, but follow us on socials to know what we're doing. But come and join the chat. Chat is your opportunity to kind of ask questions, to voice opinions, to interact with other fans. In our other show, our chat gets really active and is a lot of fun to talk with. And we're hoping to bring that same kind of thing here because it really helps build a community. And when you can talk to people throughout the week about the performance of your team and what's going on, it makes it a little more enjoyable. And then that way, when we get to the tailgates on game days, like we can all just have a great time. And we've gotten the complaining out or the the analysis out of the way during the week.
And one more thing I'll throw out just as we're kind of wrapping up. So as far as I know, there's two supporter groups we've got so far: Everglades County Collective and New River Raiders. ECC just released their scarf to wear at the games. Very cool
Do you have
scarf.
it? You should
I do
throw it
not.
up.
Do you?
No, do you have it like pulled up?
No, I just thought of it.
Oh, let me pull it up real quick
You
because
can
I
pull it up real
ordered
quick.
it. I love it.
So ECC put out the scarf. Big shout out to them. I will say, and Brent and I working on New River Raiders and love it, but ECC is really setting the standard for SGs there, and we're excited to see what they bring to game one. I know they've been talking about songs. I know the guys, listen to the show, so I'll throw it out to guys. Hey, when are we gonna start getting some of those song scripts so I can start practicing?
Yeah.
Because I do want to sing along, and I know that they have experience running SGs with their time with the strikers, so a lot that they can take from there and bring over here and help make us successful.
Yeah. Totally agree. Let me throw it up there so people can see because they need to get on there and order them if they want them.
In fact, in the morning I will order a scarf too. I meant to, and I forgot to. No, I
Yeah.
haven't.
So here it is. The Everglades County Collective scarf, Fort Lauderdale on one side with their logo, and then on the back, um,
Maritime flags.
yeah, maritime. No, it's not. This isn't
Yeah.
the maritime flag one.
No.
This is the center part of their logo, just in
Oh,
different.
they looked at a couple different logos.
Yeah,
Look
and
over the
I
scarves.
think the placement of the logo indicates something. I forget what it is. They had a whole description about it as well as like a contest where they were voting for scarf designs, and this is the one that won. I voted for the nautical flag one because I thought that was amazing. But look at this. This is awesome. This is great. Like I I'll be rocking this for sure. And it's $18. It's not bad. It's Olive in York. It's quality. It's gonna be good. You're gonna get it quick. Order
And I
it.
love Alvin. Alvin
Support
York is
the
doing everything.
SGs.
Like we are working with them on some stickers, and some shirts,
Yeah.
scarves. It's awesome. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So, support the SGs. You know, it, I with New River Raiders, I don't care if you're part of every SG. Just support them. It's just a group to come and hang out with and hang out in the supporter section, have a great time, and just support our team. That's all we're here for, is to support our team and be excited that we have a women's soccer team to cheer on, and to represent us. And that's what it's all about. Like, just get out there, have fun,
Yeah,
find a
support
group
this.
that like-minded people, and have a great time.
And I think every the guys at ECC are awesome.
Yeah,
They've been dying to see this. This is a long time coming for them to have to have football
yeah,
truly living in Broward County again. Uh, we know there's another team up the road. Brent and I both happen to be fans of, but they're not Broward team. They're just playing
they're
in
gonna
Broward.
leave me.
Yeah, Orlando United's here to stay.
Yep. And that's why we got in early. We have the podcast, we have the supporters group. We're all in on Fort Lauderdale United, as you should be too. But yeah, any other parting words for the fans?
Dude,
For the
we've been sitting here, I just ordered the scarf in the past few
great
minutes.
job.
Throw it up there. Thank God all my information saved. Didn't have to pull the credit card out on live TV and
Yeah.
then have someone scam it. Uh, but no, last words. Hey, we tied, but it was a good tie. It was a really important one
Yeah.
point. We got the first goal. It's honestly maybe not the best way to start the season, but I think this is the way we wanted to start the season, the
Pretty
way we
damn
hope to
good.
start the season, and I am super excited for it.
Me too. I can't wait. And unfortunately we gotta wait. What are we? 14 sleeps away for from our next game. Because it's a Friday night
Just
game.
giving us time to get a jersey out for sale so I can order it.
Trust me, we're gonna be
Again.
obnoxious with these things when we get them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my whole family's getting it. I'm gonna have to buy at
Yeah,
least. So I need a home and away. I need
yeah,
one for the full team signature. Then my son's gonna demand a home and away because he's as bad about jerseys as I am.
yeah.
And then my wife will accept whatever, one or the other. She doesn't like spending
Yeah,
money, so she's not
I
gonna
think
want both.
Shivani's. I think she likes the home. I think she likes the blue, which
I,
makes
I I
sense.
will throw out there, after owning many a jersey, if you're gonna wear it a lot, go colored
Yeah,
because the white will show use.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But I'm in the same boat. Fortunately, my kids are too small. If we get youth jerseys, I might have to get a youth extra small for my son. But the other two are too small for jerseys, so I don't have to worry about that expense.
They're never too small. Just sew it up, cut it up, and make something out
I'm
of it.
not doing that for a 2.5-year-old.
Hey, listen,
We'll see.
are you really a fan or not?
Apparently, I'm not.
No.
On
Well,
that note, thank you all for listening. Like, share, subscribe. We're just starting this thing, trying to build our audience, and hopefully we can do that and just spread the word about the team. If you don't like the podcast or you don't want to spread the show, spread the word about the team. Let's fill that stadium on the 29th, and let's show the rest of the league what Fort Lauderdale can do. So thank you guys again, and we will see you all in the next one.